Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Betka. Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Hope you all are doing good. Well, this is Rini from Bhubaneswar. Here, I have been working as an educator for the past 20 plus years. And for the past 10 years, I have been working as a rehabilitation professional and student counselor, as well as art therapist for the past 3 years. And I've also specialized in NLP, positive psychology. And my niche is coaching the parents to make them understand why it is important to understand your kid. The reason behind doing this is that each parenting has an effect for a lifetime on not only on their own child but on the society too. So if I'm able to help a child, the child will in return going to help more people in the society. So, with this motto in my life, I have put forward and serving the society with a motto to coach the parents and also guide the students and children as such. So, today we have a topic called developing resilient children. Resilient is more of a very new recent topic that this particular word has been in conversation for the maybe another 6 to 7 years. Before that, we have used to say you should be strong, you should be able to cope up with your daily life, you should be smart enough, you should be. So I would like to ask my audience, what do you think? What exactly is resilient? Being resilient is? Can anyone answer? Yeah, one or two volunteers can speak out. What do you mean by resilient?
Maybe resilience is to be able to cope up with the situation.
Yeah. So, but if you want to be resilient, coping up the situation, that is the end goal. But before that, what you should do, before that, how the child should be equipped to come to that situation, because that is the last thing going to happen as a child being resilient. Give me a minute, let me share my screen. Can you see the screen? Yeah. Nurturing resilient children. Today we will be learning strategies for growth mindset, problem solving, and coping. As you said, yes, making children resilient means the ability to cope. So, when we are talking about what does exactly, I had asked this question, what does exactly resilient mean to you? Some of the people say that it's just coping or being strong enough to face any situation or being like smart enough to do whenever whatever situation, flexible enough to face the situation, or even have the courage to do whatever they want to do. But does just making or asking them to be smart, be strong, or to have a coping skill can make them resilient? Let's see through this whole webinar of 1 hour whether we can be resilient just by having a coping skill, or having the coping skill needs more process to understand or to get till that is because being a resilient child means having the coping skill is the end product, but before that there are many things their child has to go through. Are we taking our child through it? What is where we lack and what is the problem that are facing? This all these things we will be learning in 1 hour. So basically resilience consists of three dimensions. Any given situation, the child should be able to come back, bounce back from the situation. Just when they are able to understand, okay, this is the situation, this is what I have to do, or this is how my thought process is, then only the child recovers from the situation. For example, suppose in a school the child is being bullied. So if the child has a fear, or if the child is not able to face the person who's bullying him, so that child won't bounce back. So the child won't stand and first cope with the situation. If the child has a fear, he will back out. So the child need to understand that the person who's bullying me is I should not be afraid of, or I should face him boldly, or I should seek a help. So that is in that particular situation, that is called the bouncing back, that recovery. Then going out to seek help, or he himself facing the situation, is coping. That means bouncing with. Now, the child has to understand he has bounced back from it, he has coped with it. Then, what should he do? That he should not be bullied again and again in any situation. So, that is where the transformation has to happen. So the bouncing forward or moving forward has to happen. Unless and until these three dimensions are covered, it is difficult a child to be resilient, or telling that the child is a resilient child, because any lack in any one area, the child the child for that matter, just to cope up, he must have shouted at the person who is bullying him, or he must have slapped the person who is bullying him. But then just that is not the over of the scene or the situation. That is not the solution. That is only a temporary coping mechanism, because unless and until child transfers, if that is a fear, the child has ran away from that particular place when he was being bullied, he has to find a way to transfer or bring the strength in him to face the person who is bullying him. So the transformation has to take place, the bouncing forward has to happen, then only the cycle of resilience completes. So there is a statement, which statement do you connect? There is got to be a way out of this mess. I am going to find it, or what is the point? Nothing will ever change. When I am talking about resilient, these two questions are there for you. Which is the question that you relate to? Can few of you volunteer, please? Yes? Can anyone volunteer? Rupali, can you say? Anybody is there? Yeah, Praveen. Okay, fine. So our research says it has been demonstrated that number one roadblock to resilience is not genetics, not the childhood experiences, not a lack of opportunity or wealth. The principal obstacle to tapping into our inner strength, it lies in our thinking process, the how our cognitive works, the style works, and the way looking at the world or interpreting the event. That is what causes not having, that is the biggest roadblock, the way we think in that given situation, or that is our inner strength. If we don't have that, whatever experience we have, or it doesn't matter, or the lack of opportunity or wealth doesn't matter, if our cognitive style is not strong or positive enough to face the problem. So what are the risk factors that affect a resilience, or what are the protective factors that help the person to be resilient? The risk factor is poor social coping skills. If the child is not taught to cope with the situation, or not given an exposure to cope with the situation, or if child is not encouraged to cope with the situation, always being protected in the environment, whatever situation comes, parents are going to protect them, not guiding them to face the condition, or not reasoning with them or just denying them straight away, or just saying accepting them straight away won't help the child to develop a social coping skill. So the poor social coping skill can be a big risk for not child not being resilient. Then insecure attachment. If the attachment with parents are not secure, they are avoidant or ambivalent attachment, then it is difficult for the child to be the child to develop a resilient trait. Then poor nutrition. If you think how the food is going to, because food also plays a vital role in the development, physical development and mental growth. So if the child is not getting a proper nutrition, always fed with the fast food, always fed with the junk food, then also the child won't have that kind of characteristic or won't develop that kind of trait which needs to make a need which is needed to make the child a resilient child. Next is poverty. Yes, sometimes even poverty doesn't allow, because of the poverty they feel that okay, what is happening, let it happen. Let me not bother about, because I'm a poor person, so this is going to happen and I have to face about it. So there is no way I can think of, or no way I can cross the people and leave ahead. The next is chronic illness. If a person is always sick or not able to have a healthy life, physically always sick, yes, this can also be a risk factor for not developing a resilience. Because being sick, always the thought comes, I'm already always sick. Why should I fight with the situation? Why should I cope up with the situation and make it better? Whatever I have tried, whether it is half as a way or whether it is fully, I'm not able to get well. So chronic illness also can bring up the negativity and not allowing the person or the child to be a resilient child. Violence in the community, wherever the child is staying, if there is always violence, there is always argument, fight between the grown-ups, that also won't help the child to be a resilient child. So what can help the child exactly? If we in short, if we discuss what are the things that can give a protective environment and that can help the child to be a resilient child. Few of the example is strong bond within the family. If the family has a strong bond and attachment system, which is very much secured, then yes, the child will become a resilient child. And if the involvement with the extended family, when we are talking about extended family, it is not only parents or grandparents, even the paternal or maternal side relatives, uncle and aunts, friends, if the and the school teachers and other peer group, if with this extended family the child has a, or is allowed to develop a good rapport or a good relationship, then guided and supported by all the people related to, directly or indirectly related to the child, as an extended family, if they are there and the attachment and bonding is good, yes, the child will become a resilient child. At least one close relationship is must in every child's life. Whether it is, if both the parents are there, there is nothing like it. It's a big blessing for children. But nowadays, seeing the scenario, nowadays, how the situation is, being parent, both the parent working, there are a single parent, there are co-parenting. So many options of parenting are there, and seeing that at least one close relationship with the child help the child to be a resilient. Then having a sense of humor, always instructing the child, always pointing out his fault, always correcting him, pushing him for academic. No, these are the things which are not going to help the child. The best thing is that with all this, a sense of humor, a time when they can talk, laugh with each other. Those things, if it is there, yes, this can help and protect the child. Then next is faith. It is very important that the child should have the faith in the social system. If the child doesn't have any faith in the social system or the family bonding, then it is difficult for the child to be a resilient. The faith is built the start building with the parents, and as the environment and surrounding extends and the child grows up, the faith which is built with other extended family members also help him to become a resilient child. Then giving the child a positive attitude to life. For giving this positive attitude, it is very important that as a parent, whenever we discuss a situation in life, whether it is negative, whether it is positive, or whether it is a very difficult situation, then we should have, instead of having a complaining attitude, we should have a positive attitude. If you say that how we will have a positive attitude if we are going through a financial crisis, or if we are having a job problem, that in during those time also, yes, you can have a positive attitude by discussing the thing, by finding out the ways to come out of that, by involving the child also according to his age, talking to him and making him understand this is a situation we have to deal with it, instead of trying to, in the name of protection, keeping him aside or saying that you're not grown up enough. Instead of doing that, giving this opportunity, discussing with him, involving him in whichever way the child can, thus positive attitude in life will help the child to grow as a resilient adult. Then good social skills. Yes, the child, not only with the parents, even with the society and the community, the child should given the opportunity to develop social skill. If you see nowadays, the children have a very much difficulty to talk to other people, to relate to other people. They are more self into themselves. In this world, when we are talking about self care and all, where saying that they are into themselves means they are only worried about their food, their sleep, their studies, their comfort, not about anybody else. And talking to them, if they don't like someone, if they don't like the vibe, they outrightly say we don't want them. There is no social skill of saying that politely ki, okay, let me talk two sentences and then I stop talking if I'm not able to communicate. Instead of that, the child always tell that no, I don't want to talk, I don't like this person, I don't want to talk, don't force me in doing this. So that kind of attitude has come. So we have to help the child to have a good social skill, so that the child, because everyone are not same, we all know, and every time we don't get a that kind of people in our life as we want. So having a good social skill, so that the even if situation is worse or the communication is worse, a diplomacy, a politeness will help the child to be a resilient child. Then how other ways, there are other ways, yes, not only studies, academics being, or extra co-curricular activities, or just participating in competition is not enough. A range of sports, leisure interest has to be developed, to will should be allowed to be developed in a child to be a resilient. Because why? The sports give them opportunity to understand teamwork, understand what is the need of being persistent, what is how to be a person who works continuously, practice continuously to achieve something. So the range of sport should be given, or ability to, or the allowed to have access to different leisure interests. Even children are interested in doing crafts and art. Many a times parents, I have seen as a teacher also, many a times parents are not interested them to do these things because they don't fetch any mark or any trophy. If the child is using this leisure interest to attend the competition, yeah, yes, then the parents actively participate and they encourage it. Otherwise, they don't give importance to this leisure interest. Next is personal goals. Help the child, however young the child is, help the child to have their personal goals. It is very important for the child to have personal goals, because it is not having personal goals doesn't mean becoming an engineer or becoming a doctor or becoming something else. No, when I'm talking about a child having a personal goal, even having a hygiene, maintaining their hygiene, or keeping their bag in place, keeping their shoes in place, these are all also their personal goals. So help them to have a personal goals. These small activities or day to day activities in their life, if you keep maintain as a goals in their life, achieving it, that will help them to have personal goals as they grow up. Not one fine day you tell them, oh, what is your goal to become an engineer, or that won't. It will be a very difficult phase for them to again suddenly have a goal. But if you help them to have a goal from the very young age, then yes, it will give them the opportunity to grow with a goal in their life. Then, good housing, giving them a good housing and giving a good atmosphere inside the house, because we always say that house is the first teacher where the child learns. So, the atmosphere inside the house should be good. So, as a parent, we are supposed to provide them. When I'm talking about good housing, it's not a big house, 4 5 rooms, a lot of laptop, TV. No, I'm not talking about that. Communication, open communication with the child, accepting the child the way it is, or helping the being with the child, spending quality time with the child, talking to the child, discussing with the child. These are the good quality in a good housing. Yeah, that it has to be included in that. Next is problem solving skills. Yes, from very young age, the problem solving skills should be inculcated in a child. Why it is important? Because if you want a child to be a resilient individual, if the child doesn't have a problem solving skill, then it is very difficult for the child to cope up with the situation. We will see in elaboration how the problem solving is going to help the child. So, first and foremost thing that should be instilled in a child to be a resilient is developing a growth mindset. So, when we are talking about growth mindset to be instilled in a child, we have to make a shift. The shift is, instead of thinking this way, we have to say this. So, what is this? I'm not good at this. When the child says, help the child to say what I am missing. Instead of saying I'm not good at this, help the child say what I am missing. To look into the life or life situation, what is that he is not seeing, or what is that he is not able to understand. So when you are helping the child to have a growth mindset, that shift has to happen in the thought process. I give up immediately. For if you see nowadays the children, immediately they give up. They just leave it at any small situation comes, and if it is very difficult or if they are not able to think beyond that, they will say, "I give up. I can't do anything of this." So what is that? Instead, help them to understand. I will use or think a different way, a different strategy. So a child help the child to think, is there any other way we can face the situation? For example, the child is a small child of 7 year old making a puzzle, and for many, after doing a lot of time, the child say, I can't do it, it's very tough. So helping the child to find a different way to put the puzzle, instead of the way the child is putting, make help him to find an easy way to put this puzzle. Will give him the understanding. Oh, I can see another way to find a solution for this. So a different strategy help him to understand a different strategy. Next is, it is good enough. So the child says everything. Once a child gets a full mark in particular subject, and the child says, oh, that is enough, good enough. So that is where the child's growth stops. The child won't think forward. The child 90% mark, okay, I'm getting 90% mark, that is enough for me, so let me do my studies this way and I will keep on getting 90% mark. So is that 90% mark enough for the child to have a growth mindset? No. So Is this really my best work? Is that something I like or I have a passion? Help them to understand, have a broader perspective. For developing a growth mindset, we have to help the children to have a broader perspective in their life. So I will take two more examples. So I cannot make this any better. If child is saying, if you tell the child, okay, the painting that you have done, you can do it better. Try another time or try in a different canvas or different paper. Immediately child have attitude that I can't make this any better. Help the child to develop that particular thought process that yes, I can always improve. There is a chance and there is a space to improve. If, for example, a child is securing the first prize in art, don't allow or don't give the child the notion that this is the best work you have done. Help them to understand that yes, they can improve with this. There are more things to do. There are more innovative that I can do. So, like this, those I made a mistake, I just can't do this. These are the things where the child can help to have a broader perspective. My friend can do it, I can't do. This particular last sentence I'll take, this particular sentence is very common in children. One, because there is a comparison between our child and the neighbors or the classmates. That is what we parents do. And there are other times, even children among themselves do the comparison. Even teachers also do the comparison. Unknowingly, we have developed something called a parenting legacy or a legacy from our olden time, that we keep on doing the same thing. Like, and make the child understand that, oh, your friend can do, you can't do. Instead of instilling in them or putting in them this particular thought that my friend can do, I can't do, help him to have this thought process, or say, help him to say this, I will learn from them, or I can do better by working hard or taking somebody's help or seeking somebody's opinion who can give me an open suggestion. So help the child. Basically, when we are talking in a growth mindset, in nutshell, it is having an open or broader perspective of life, helping the child to have that if they want to grow or as a resilient child. So I would continue with a quote: with the right mindset, we can't lose. We either practice what we have learned or we learn what we need to practice. So, this, if we have a right mindset, we will never lose the track in our life. Whatever we have learned, we will practice it. Otherwise, we will find a way to learn and practice it. So, can you think of a specific situation where someone's mindset either held them back or propelled them forward? It could be your personal experience or something you observed. If anyone would like to pitch in for this particular question, can you think a situation where where the mindset has been this, that you have either held back or move forward to do it? So think about this question and see whether you're, even as a parent or as a grown up person, because you are going to affect the child in a child's life in directly or indirectly. So think about it. Have you done anything, any time that you felt that you are holding yourself back from the situation, or you have taken the initiative no matter what has happened and move forward in life? Think about it, because you are also equally a participant in a child's life. So when we are talking about growth mindset, so the growth has, each alphabet has a meaning in a growth mindset. G for a growth is a grasp fixed mindset traps. Many a times we grown-ups have a fixed mindset. We don't want to move out of that belief of ours. So because of this, we are not able to provide the equal or the better opportunity for the child to grow. So if we want to give the children a growth mindset, The parents has to understand there is a fixed mindset trap somewhere. So we have to change, or we have to be adaptive, change our thinking and make choices in life and become an adaptive thinker. Next is rise to challenges. It is important. There are sometimes, or many a times, we don't try to face any challenge. We don't want. Yeah, I'm fed up. I can't do this. I can't always keep on try facing the problems, because any challenges, if it is coming again and again, no matter what you do, that means that particular situation is teaching you or giving you an opportunity to learn in your life. So if you don't face the challenge, then you won't understand why this particular situation. So anytime a situation comes in your life and there is a challenge in your life, try to face that, because and help the child to learn to face the challenges. Very small example of a child. The child went downstairs to play, and the child fell down or somebody pushed him, and he came running back to home and told his mother, as well, so and so person has pushed me and I got hurt. There are two ways of doing this. One, okay, now from tomorrow onwards you are not supposed to go and play with them, stop going and playing with them. Or you will try to go and protect the child, fight with the person who has pushed him. So, where are you preparing the child to face the challenge? Instead of tell the child to go and talk, you be there. I'm not saying send the child all alone. Be there, help, go and talk to the child who has pushed him. Go and talk in front of him and help them to make an understanding. If the problem is there, try to talk to the child also. So help the children to face the challenge, rise to the challenge. Don't be overprotective on them, or so that they have a very easy life. It is not an easy life. We are preparing them for the worst part of life. If they are not ready to face a challenge in life, if they are not taught or trained to face the challenges in life, it is difficult for them to move forward in life. Then help them to overcome fear of failure. It is important that they should learn to overcome the fear of failure, because always we are encouraging them for success every time. And we all know with the experience in our life that success is not the only thing that is happening, because failure has to happen, and then only we will go and reach to a point where we are successful. Without failure we won't understand what is a success in our life. So help the child to face the failure. That means if the child is having a low mark or failed in a subject, what are you supposed to do? You scold him, create a scenario in his mind that okay, if you fail, you're not going to get a job, you're not going to get a good college, admission in good college. So we say all those things and develop a fear of failure. The child might succeed till he reaches his education, he completes his education. But what after that? When the life gives failure, because every time parents can't support them. So failure is help the child to overcome the fear of failure. Next is value the effort. Anything the child has been doing, recognize the effort as an engine for growth, because anything the child is doing or achieving, it might be very small. If the child has a bad handwriting and writing a good A, even appreciate, make it a point to appreciate the child. That is very important, to help value it, and that effort will help them to have a growth mindset. Then take time to continue learning. It is important, help them to understand that there is no fixed time and then you have learned everything. It doesn't happen. Help them to understand their, and help them to develop a desire to learn, which is fundamental, which is every day they have to learn till they die. So opportunity, help them to learn from small things in and around their surroundings, so that they take this opportunity and continue learning, because learning will help them to have a growth mindset. Hold on to a persistence. Yes, perseverance is important in life. Without perseverance, the child won't achieve anything. Teach them. If you have failed now, put some hard work or find another method of achieving it if you really want to achieve it. Because persistence, you have to continue you are persistently, you have to continue putting your effort to achieve your goal. So teach them to hold on to the persistence so that they have a growth mindset always. They grow as a resilient, which is, if they don't have a growth mindset, it is difficult for them to become a resilient person. So we have seen how growth as such grasp the fixed mindset trap, rise to challenges, overcome fear of failure, value effort, take time to continue learning, hold on to the persistence. This is how the growth happens. How is the mindset? Mindset is managing constructive feedback. Whenever the child fails or child commits a mistake, instead of pointing a finger and making him guilty, help them to or give them, accept and give them a constructive criticism. It's okay. It might be, there might be some loophole, there might be some reason because it happened. Let's find out together and let's work on to make it better. So help the child to have a growth mind, manage the construct, give a constructive feedback. It is important the child to have a constructive feedback, otherwise they won't be it won't be easy for them to take a criticism in their life. If somebody else, if parents have not taught or have not given them a constructive feedback, then the child won't take criticism from any grown-ups. Next is invite growth minded company. Help them to have friends, or you also as a grown up have friends who help their mindset to grow, like minded people, or who inspire them, support them, encourage them. There should not be people in and around them who don't have a healthy competition or the jealousy feeling, jealousy from each other. If that it is not healthy, then they it won't give them an opportunity to have a growth mindset. Don't compare your children with others. Invite their friends so that they should be a support system rather than a competition in unhealthy way. And be with your children to navigate, celebrate every success. It is not only when the child writes a 10th board, or it is not only when the child have a trophy that you are going to express your happiness. Even when the child is getting a good mark or completing homework, or do if suppose the child is good at dance and completing one particular level, appreciate, help them to celebrate every time that there is a success. So navigate success with them every moment, not only when they have achieved. And don't put an effort or don't put a pressure to achieve every time or be successful every time, and tell others, instead of praising your child, telling others my child is very successful, because he doesn't want others to know. He wants his parents to appreciate him for the success, whatever small or big, whatever success. And do not downplay their wins. Yes, when you celebrate the small wins and success, which helps to build up their strength and gratitude for steady growth. So don't downplay such wins also. So all this will help them to stay enthusiastic today. This will remind or help them to be positive and have a enthusiastic growth journey. If the growth mindset happens, this is the first step in a child's life to become a resilient individual. So once this happens, the next stage is the power of problem solving. So the very importance is that if you want the child to have the power of problem solving, the child should be adaptable. Any given situation, the child has the energy, has the insight, has the capability to adapt. It is not that the child should grow every time in a way that they want to grow. If I can't live without AC, I have to have a AC. I should stay in a five-star hotel. My father should have this kind of car. If all these things are going to give the child's adaptability, it won't happen. The child can also say that I don't have a phone, but my friend have a phone. Why it's so? He's also of same age. So why that you can't have a phone? Give them the situation, help them to understand, help them to adapt the situation in which they are in. If for some reason you are not able to provide them a facility because of a financial condition or because of some constraint or because of a health issue, help them to understand so that they can adapt to the changes that is happening in and around them. Empower them, give them the power to understand that this is the situation, we are all going to solve the problem together. Give them, help them to feel powerful, that they are also somebody in their family. We say you are a part of our family to the children, but whenever a situation arises, look, you're 5 year old, don't talk such things. You're not supposed to put your opinion in that. So make sure that this kind of verbal accusation should not happen when we are relating with a child. It is important that we empower them. If a situation, for example, there is a problem, the child in the house, and there is a financial issue. The child is asking, "What happened, Papa? Why there is a problem?" Then make sure that tell that this is a problem we are trying to solve. If the child, can I give an opinion, just listen to the child. It is not necessarily the child should understand everything and give your best opinion. Even the child has a given opinion, yes, but you can always explain to the child that this is the situation, you're still young to understand, but whatever you have given, thank you for it. So empower them, make them feel that yes, they are capable of problem solving. So the power, given the power, helps them to feel that they are somebody, their individual identity is maintained. Challenges, if happen, don't be overprotective. Think with them. Don't give them an answer to them immediately. Okay, this is the situation, this is what you have to do, and this is how you will get the solution. Don't give them the solution. They need to understand this kind of challenges are going to happen, and this challenges has to be faced day in, day out in their life. For example, if the child is not getting notes from his friend, and the child comes and tells the parents, I'm not getting notes from my friend, I was absent. So don't immediately call another parent and get the notes. Ask the child, go and ask another friend, or tell your teacher, go and help them to face the challenges. When we provide answer for everything, they don't face the challenges, then how they are going to develop a problem solving skill? Because without this, they are not, without this attaining a experience in this second stage, they are not going to develop or be a resilient individual. So for the problem solving process, they need to define the problem. That means explain the problem, what exactly the problem is. Next is reflect on the next is analyze the situation. Analyze the situation. Once you have defined the problem, analyze the situation, whether the situation is very serious, whether the situation can be dealt in 3 steps, whether the situation is something which we need somebody's help. So analyze the situation in different, then try to generate solutions, not one solution. Try to generate, think of different ways to so you can solve the situation. Generate different solution, then evaluate the option, which solution will be the best. So evaluate all the options, pros and cons of all the solution that you have given, and then choose the best solution and then implement. Once you implement the solution, reflect on this. The whole this process has to happen for the child to understand the importance of uh, problem solving. This can be understood through a small video here. Can you hear? If anyone can say if we can hear this or not.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can.
Thank you.
Gotta get to school. I never should have stopped and picked all those blueberries. Whoa!
Hunter, what's going on?
Look at that flooded creek. I'm done for. This is a big problem. I give up.
Wait a minute. Let's talk this through and make sure we understand the problem. Maybe we can come up with a solution.
Well, the problem is that because of all the rain, I can't safely cross the flooded creek and get to school.
Okay, now that we understand the problem, let's see if we can come up with some solutions for getting to school safely.
Let me think. How could I solve this problem and find a way to get to school safely? I've got it! Would you fly me over the creek, Eve?
Hunter, I'd love to, but owls can't fly very well in the rain. I'll have to stay under this tree until it stops.
Oh well, I'm stuck. No use trying.
Problems can be tricky, but you're smart. I know that together we can find a way across that creek.
Okay, let me think some more. Well, that won't work. Maybe. Whoa! What if I fall in? My mom said never to swim in rushing water. Yikes! I don't know what to do, Eve. I give up.
Hunter, don't give up. Keep trying.
Well, there is a brand new bridge up the creek. It's a longer walk to school than usual, but the beavers built it high and sturdy, so I'm sure it's safe and not flooded.
Great job, Hunter. I think you've come up with a good and safe solution.
Thanks, Eve. You're right. I'll head that way.
Great! Since I can't fly very well in this rain, I'll walk with you. Boy, what a bridge! This is a safe way to cross the flooded creek.
Yep, and to think I was ready to give up finding a way to get to school safely. But Eve, you reminded me to make sure I understand my problem. Then to think about different ways I could solve the problem. And finally, to not give up if something doesn't work. Just keep trying.
Yep, you stayed flexible, and I'm very proud of you. Have a great day at school. Learn lots.
Thanks, Eve. I already have.
So you have seen through this video, we could understand that we should instill in the child to solve a problem. Problem solving skill is very important, and how they can do it step by step. First, to understand the problem, then try to find out different ways. And in whenever the child is losing the hope, encouraging them to find different methods, thinking and rethinking about it, then finding a solution. Well, now comes the stage where the child have learned the growth mindset, problem solving skill. Now the child will be learning or has to learn the coping skill, building resilience through coping. So what is the strategy that you can help the child to learn the coping mechanism? First is help the child to understand if a given situation is there, what is the emotion that child is going through. Easy feeling frustrated, easy feeling anger, easy feeling anxious, easy panicking, having a fear. Try to help the child to understand what is that kind of emotion that child is going through when a given situation. Because when you have an open talk, instead of giving them the solution, ready-made solution to them, this will help them to understand, okay, I'm having fear, so let me take a help of others, or let me talk to my parents, or let me talk to my friend. So helping them to identify the emotion. Or if nothing else, let me sit and do something such as something called breathing exercise. This will help, or this will help them to calm down. Just simple breathing exercise will help them to calm down in the given situation. This is another way of coping, developing. If they have understood their emotions, next is that they will develop or have a skill called breathing exercise so that this will help them to calm down. Next is expressive art. Yes, this is also one of the method to express their emotions so that they can understand, okay, this is what I am going through, or somebody else can understand, okay, a child is going through this thing. So we need to help. Many a times when a counselor or when a parent seeing their drawing or seeing the way they work, that expressive through expression through the art helps them to understand what the child is going, whether the child is having happy or any problem or any situation. So help them to express through art, because that will also give them the opportunity to put their emotions, underlying emotions on the paper. Give them a social support, even if you don't overprotect, but help them to understand that you as a parent are there with them no matter what the situation is, so that they can cope up with the situation. Give them that social support, help them to understand, if other than me, if you are in a situation where I am not able to reach you, there is someone else, or you have a friend, you have a friend's parents with whom you can reach. So social support, social circle is very important. It's not necessary that they should have 110 people, but yes, it's necessary that they should have some one or two good people whom they can approach. And if the matter is serious, how to approach and or connect with the people who can help them out, that has to be given or taught to them so that they learn to cope up with the situation. Next is, if a child is little grown up, a teenager, a mindfulness or relaxation is important. When I am talking about mindfulness, I am not talking about meditation. Here, when I'm talking about children, I don't talk about meditation. Meditation is a later part of this stage. It is mindfulness. That means understanding their own emotions, calming their emotions, or just understanding their own thought process and relaxing them. So, okay, I'm having a fear. Let me just breathe. So that is mindfulness. That has to happen. Not that they have to learn meditation and no, building up resolution. A resilient child doesn't need a meditation. Mindfulness is needed. So once they learn this coping skill, they cultivate. We have to help them to cultivate, ultimately cultivate the resilient spirit. As it says, a river cuts through rock not because of its power, but because of its persistence. The children should understand that life is not a bed of roses. Every time success won't be there. There is a with the success there is an equal part of failure, and also that for that reason, a support system has to be presented to them. That means it's not that whenever they have a problem you go immediately and give them the protection. No, but they know that yet behind them there are people who will be there to support. They can turn, fall back on them. So when you help them to know that these are the support system, that will build a trust and a security, which will give them the power to face their situation, face their life, face any given situation, whether you have prepared them or not. Because all the situation doesn't come together, all the situation doesn't come at a time, or all the situation you can't train them. So if you have given them a foundational support for them to grow as a having a growth mindset, having a problem solving skill, then there it will build trust and security, and this will encourage them to have a open communication with their parents, with the grown up, so that there are many times children parents come and say they don't tell us openly. Think why they don't tell you openly, why they don't have that kind of spirit that they can face the situation. What is that is lacking in our parenting style, because of which we are not able to develop resilient children. So the power, whatever support we are giving, whatever guidance we are giving, Everything should be consistent. It matters. Consistent means regularly support, regularly guidance is important for them. And that can be done with small achievement, give a positive reinforcement. Any good behavior. If for one day, once in a while, a child, and what happened? Why are you? If suppose a child is giving you a glass of water, it can be anything. Instead of telling the child thank you, ask the child what happened. Why suddenly you have brought a glass of water? Do you need something? Don't let them understand that sometime being like this is a way I can manipulate the situation. Don't we only teach them how to. So if the child has given you a glass of water, then say thank you for this glass of water. How can I help you? So two things happens. One, appreciation, rest. Second is that the child knows, yes, my parents can understand me without. Then modeling. You yourself should be a resilient. When some situation comes, you throwing tantrum or getting annoyed or getting pissed off or telling, don't talk to me, I'm stressed out in the college. And all those, that won't help them. Then navigating our developmental challenges. So help them to go through the challenges, and it should be consistent every time. It's not that one time I have done, okay, I have taught you this, now you can do any time, any number of time. No, it doesn't happen. Children, as they grow up, they need the support or presence of parents. That is why we are there in their life. That support system doesn't mean being overprotective, being standing beside them and facing the situation. So when you become consistently, when you give the power consistently, nurture the consistently the power of positive reinforcement, modeling resilient, and helping them to face the challenge, you build a growth focused environment. And this growth focused environment will create a learning atmosphere. They will be always open to learn from you. Any suggestion given by you as a parent, they will never say, "Oh, the children will never say that. Oh, I don't want to listen." So make sure that you build a growth focused environment so that they have an adaptive nature. They create, and it gives them an opportunity to learn a lot. Here we have been talking to the parents. Whatever effort the parent have to build a child as a resilient child, it is also important that school and community should support them to strengthen this resilience beyond the home. It is very important because they are a part of the society. As they grow up, they don't just learn from home, they also learn from school and community. And that is why the schools contribute, help them to learn. Teachers have to be present, have a presence of mind to support them, communicate with them, educate them, and even if the matter is really serious, give a counseling sessions in the school. And after the school program, where is the next person who is going to contribute? That is the community. That is the people other than the parents and the school people. These are the people who are going in the community when they go. They should have a mentor if it is possible, if it's needed. They should have accessible to resources, like they should be taught that they can reach people who are, they can reach different people who are there to support them, like your law and order people, health services, all these things. They should be made accessible resources. They should be told you can achieve, connect with them yourself also, because sometimes even parents are not able to support them, so they need the support of a community. So to build up a resilient child, to build up, not only parents, school, community, everyone has to contribute. And for this, we should have an attitude, and this attitude should be there in our children also. I'm the type of a person who can do difficult things. The end result should be this attitude so that the child can say, yes, any situation, I can face it. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Bedkar, for giving me this opportunity. I end my talk here, and I would like to take any questions that is there. Thank you, sir. Yeah, any questions that you want me to answer? How would I like to answer?
Hello.
Yes.
Good evening, ma'am. Good evening, Dr. Bedkar, sir, principal, sir.
Good
Ma'am,
evening,
thank
sir.
you very much. Thank you very much for a wonderful presentation and really to build a child resilient. I think comprehensive support from every component of community is required, including parents, the teachers, and the friends, and all people. They will build that child. That is there, definitely. That is there. But nowadays, I could see a kind of transition. Initially people used to say their child when he was going to the school,
Mm-hmm.
they were they were saying that this child is yours. Now you take care. Whatever you want to do, you do it with this child, but make him a good citizen or good person or good man, human being.
Mm-hmm.
But nowadays, in between, the transition changed to something else, right? What we can say, parents are also not paying attention. The children are also not, means the parents are busy somewhere in business or some occupied somewhere. And now the trend is, you should not say anything to my child.
True.
Even he is doing wrong, you should come to us. And this kind of attitude, is really affecting, because we are having PT meets, and when we are saying I'm talking about medical students, forget about the school children. Your child has failed in all subjects. Now what you want to do with this child?
Sir,
The
even
parents,
the
because they
worst
are the
cases are
sensible
there.
students also.
Yeah, I
And the
agree very
parents,
much with you.
the parents are saying, let him fail. You don't say anything to him.
True.
That
I
is one
agree with
point.
you.
And some parents are there, too much pressure. They cannot come out, what they are going through. So these are the two situations. So how to cope with this situation and how to develop that parenthood, what I feel.
Yeah,
Thank you,
I
ma'am.
do agree with you. That is the reason why now when I am doing working as a counselor also, I see many children coming, grown up kids, not children, young adults. They are, as you very well said, that yes, medical student, they don't have that power to cope up with the situation. It is we need to spread the awareness to the parents, make them understand. It is not just when the child is going through a difficult situation giving them just a medicine doesn't help in any way. No offense to any fraternity, but just medicine won't help them make a resilient person. Yes, the parent have to be aware. Their participation is very important, and I do agree what you have said. We can see this nowadays. Not to tell anything, not to uh, like guide them. You don't have to tell them. Let them do what they want to do. I do agree.
People
Thank you,
used to
Doctor.
say, at least they were doing some kind of drama, that they were scolding in front of teacher to the child, and the teacher was saying, no, please don't do this. Okay, that was one transition in between, but that has also lost now somewhere.
Yeah, now the transition is that parents come and tell the teacher that since I am in the field of education, tell the teacher that, sir or ma'am, see, we don't have time, we can't spend much time with child. So the child spend maximum time with you. So please teach whatever is possible. So this is the transition now going on.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you for this opportunity. It was a pleasure of mine so that I could give, yes, I could spread some message to some people. Thank you so much.
Very good evening.
Yes.
Very good evening, Rini ji. You
Good
have
evening.
told us a beautiful interaction. Basically, you did a beautiful interaction about problem solving. But the most important thing before problem solving is to teach the students to communicate. Actually, the
Yes.
basic problem is they are not aware about their problem, or sometimes, if they are aware about their problem, they are not ready to communicate so that we may understand what the problem actually is. So, I think the basic aim for anyone in the family or in the school is to teach the students how to communicate. Even not only the students, but also the parents, the society. हमें अपनी प्रॉब्लम को कहना ही नहीं आता. This is the basic problem. So sometimes it's important to tell them how to communicate well so that we can solve their problem. वो कहते
True.
हैं आप हमारी बात समझ ही नहीं रहे. We are not understanding because they don't have that kind of vocabulary so that we may understand them. So this is the basic problem. I think for a problem solving, if we people start to communicate with them, it's the duty of everyone to provide them the right vocabulary for the right situation. Then I think this problem solving will be more
Yeah,
easier
I don't
for
know from
everyone.
where you attended. In the first few slides, I have told that when you
Yes.
want the child to communicate, yeah, if you want the child has to be given the opportunity to say what they want to say. They may say right or wrong, doesn't matter.
Yes, do agree
That's,
with you, but they don't have actually the vocabulary. Sometimes they feel very shy. Most of the time when I met with, as you are counseling the students, I'm also doing the same thing with the senior leaders and many other people. They are sometimes they are very much shy ki whether we have to tell them or not tell them, and they have the very basic problems in the adolescent stage also. So it's our duty to tell them, nothing to shy, nothing to get it's better to get aware about each and everything. So communication is good enough, but with the right vocabulary, if we communicate with some other person, it's easier for any of us as a counselor, as a parent, as a teacher, or as a society member to understand that problem, and then we can resolve that problem. Solving is different thing, but I think it's important to resolve that problem. You have
resolving this
better.
is all what I told today is how to
Yes,
build a child instead of going to the problematic area and then solving it. It is rather that we don't take the child to that problematic area. It's
yes,
rather
yes,
teaching them from the very beginning as a child, as they grow up, very beginning, to solve their own problem.
yes.
Communicate. See, communication comes it how when the why the communication, it's not only shy. When the child communicates when they are young, पहले तो हमें बोला जाता है कि आप बात नहीं करो, आप बहुत छोटे हो,
Mhm.
आप ये आपकी आपका मामला नहीं है. You tell the child that you are a part of a family and then tell the child that ये आपका मामला नहीं है, आप बात नहीं करो इसमें, बड़ों के
Yes,
बीच में बात नहीं करो. So
yes.
then child has lost that particular opportunity to say what he want to say.
That's why
Right?
I'm saying again and again, it's the duty of the society and the parent to understand. Then we can comprehend that problem, and then we can
Yes,
resolve that.
that is
And
true.
the story was really wonderful. Rini, I enjoyed that. And
Thank you,
thank
sir.
you
And
so
your
very
opinion
much.
matters. It gave me a lot of other, like next time when I'm talking, yes, that can be included. Thank
God
you, sir.
bless you. Bye bye.
Bye
Have a
bye.
nice day.
You too. Bye. Thank you, sir. My pleasure.